there everyone, it's Kathy and you're back here on my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping. As many of you know, I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm located here in the United States in the beautiful state of North Carolina. If you're not currently working with a demonstrator and you're interested in any of our products, please reach out to me. I would absolutely love to get to know you, be your mentor, and help you along with any of your Stampin' Up! Needs. Stampin' Up! Is a wonderful company. They stand behind their products and I just can't sing their praises enough. And if you ever have to contact them for anything, I have never been disappointed. But enough about that. I want to get to my project for today. I love this collection called Sun Prints and Nature's Prints, and then Natural Print are the dies. And we're going to be working with the paper and the stamps and the dies today. I'm pretty sure. I say that because y'all know I have a tendency of changing my mind at the drop of a hat. But I think I'm going to stick with this, and I do believe that I want to use a lot of this blue on a white background. And this is the card that we're going to make. Now please don't look at the colors on this card. I was basically just trying to see if I could make this work, and this is the card. It is a triple step card, and it sits like this, and you have these triangles which are nothing more than squares. It folds up like this. It will fit in a 6x6 envelope, but it is absolutely a darling card. So I want to take y'all on the process of making this, and let's see where we go with it. The first thing I want to do is, let's get a card base. The first thing I want to do is grab a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock. And I've got a piece of that right here. This is the thick, and you want something for the base of your card that's substantial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything to the side, and we're just going to concentrate on this piece of paper for the moment. So I'm going to lay this right down here. I'm going to grab my trimmer because we need to cut this piece to 11 by 6. So we know we have 11 here, so all we need to do is put it in to our trimmer all the way over to our 6-inch mark, and we are going to slice all the way up just like that. Hang on to this because you can probably use that in another project. But for right now, we want to turn this, and we're going to do some scoring. And I think I'm going to grab my Simply Scored scoreboard. I think it might make it a little simpler for everybody to see it done on a actual scoreboard. So we're going to lay this in on our 11-inch, our 11-inch side, just like that. And we're going to do some scoring. So I'm going to use my the tool that comes with my scoreboard. I have a large ball on one end and a smaller one on the other. And for cardstock, you want to always use the smaller one. For designer series paper, use the larger one. So we're going to go in with the small, and we're going to start off and we're going to score it 3, 6, 7.5, 9, and 10. Now all we're going to do is take this out, and we're going to fold our 3-inch flap back. Let's move this out of our way so we can get a bone folder out here. Make sure we get nice, even, crisp edges on this. Crucial anytime you're doing a fun fold card. So what I like to do, something on my paper right there. Let's see if I can erase that. That looks pretty good. Make sure I didn't pick up anything off of my desk. So I'm going to even that up, make sure it's squared from edge to edge, and then I'm going to go ahead and crease that. So you want that mountain fold. Then your next fold is going to be a valley. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm looking to make sure all my edges are together. They are. And then I'm just going to take my bone folder and crease that. So now you have mountain, valley, Then you're going to go back into a mountain and a valley and a mountain. So when you finish, it should look like that. But now I'm going to put everything together and I'm going to crease everything down just like that. Now this is the base of our card. You can see how simple that was. That is your base. So let's go ahead and set that to the side for just a moment. And the next thing we want to do is cut our mats. So we're going to have a mat for here, a mat for here, and a mat for here. So I'm going to, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my paper 2 3/4 by 5 3/4 for what I want back here, and I want to use that Designer Series paper. So we're going to use this, and I think I want to use this pattern here for back there. So this piece needs to be 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. I think I'm going to go this way with it. 2 3/4, almost at the 3 mark, 1/4 inch less. And then we're going to cut this off at 5 3/4. Let's bring our card back over and we're going to lay this right here, and this is where that's going to adhere to. Isn't that beautiful? Then we're going to take our next piece, needs to be 1 1/4, and I think I'm going to do all of this in this particular color. So now we need a strip that is 1 1/8. So 1 1/8 would be halfway on between a 1/4. So that's an 1/8. Then we're going to slice this again at 5 3/4. And this piece is going to live right here on this piece, just like that. So you notice I'm not gluing anything down just yet. I'm just getting my pieces ready. So we need another piece now. This piece needs to be 3/4 of an inch. So I think I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to use this side of my trimmer and line it up at 3/4 of an inch. And slice. And then of course we still have that 5 3/4 that we're going to cut that down to. And now this piece is going to adhere to the very front panel right here. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, I think I want it like that. So let's go ahead and glue those down, and then we'll move on to the next portion of our card. So I'm going to open this up so that I can see exactly where I'm needing to put these. Alright, I'm going to take and put some liquid glue right around the edges of this. And I'm going to be very careful to make sure I get this lined up just like I want it. Now I'm using my bone folder just to iron out that glue. Make sure it goes all the way to the edges. And now we're going to come down to this next step, because this one's going to be folded up and not seen. This one's the one that's going to be seen. So we're going to put some adhesive on this piece. Now you could certainly use tear and tape, whatever you like, whatever you prefer. I really like doing it with my glue. Gives me a little extra time for wiggle room. And again, just ironing out the glue. Now we got our last little piece, last but not least, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to glue him up. And adhere him to that last folded flap. And there is that much of our card done. So now when you fold that back, this is what our step card is going to look like. And when you look at it from the front, it looks like that. Isn't that gorgeous? So now I'm going to cut some cardstock, and I'm going to start out with, I think. I'm just going to lay that back there for right now so we can go ahead and get our pieces cut. The first thing we're going to do is cut our large square, and this one is going to be 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. So I know y'all don't like 8s, but sometimes they're necessary, and this is one of those times. So we're just going to slice this down to 4. How about 4 1/8? And I'm going to stop what I'm doing right here. As soon as I cut this to a square, I have to go take care of something, and I'll be right back. But that's our first triangle. Alright, we are back, and I have this triangle cut, and this, like I said, is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. So the next piece that we need to cut is 3 7/8. I know there's a lot of 8s in this, but it's kind of a necessary, it's just kind of necessary to, so 2 7/8, I mean 3 7/8 would be just that 1/8. If you go to 3/4, you're going to come over halfway in that next one, and that is 7/8. So right there. And this is also going to be cut at 7/8, 3 7/8 again. So just bring it over and put it right back on that same line and slice. Now that is going to adhere onto here, but we're going to do some stamping on this one. So there's our first one. Now we're going to need another one that is going to be out of our blue, and this one is going to be 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. So let's see if we have it. 3 and 1 2 3 4 5. Yep. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5. 5/8. So 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. Now we're going to need a white piece that needs to be 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. So 3, let's see if we can get it this way. Yeah, we can. So 3 and 1 2 3 3/8 by 3 and 1, 2, 3/8. And then this piece is going to layer on top of this piece. And then our last piece is going to be 3 and 1/8 by 3 and 1/8. So that one's easy. Halfway between the quarter. 3 and 3/8 by 3 and 1/8 by 3 and 1/8. So 3 and 1/8. And then we're going to need a white piece that is going to be 2 and 7/8. So 2 and 7/8 is going to be almost 3, but it's like that middle line in between your 1/4 inch. So that's going to be your 7/8. Just like that. Turn it and do it 2 and 7/8 again. And this piece will mat on here. So now we have our 3 matted pieces. We're going to come back because I want to put some of these pretties on here. Like, I love this, and I want to cut out something out of this that's going to go on, say, the back of this. And remember, it's going to be at an angle. So let's see. I'm wondering if we could cut this at an angle. Let's try doing something with a die. Let's see. And I just had the set of dies that I was interested in, and that is my snip. I need a square. Let me look at my stylish shapes and see if I can get something out of those. Okay, this just might work. Let's see. I think what I want to do is run that through my die cut, just like that at that angle. So I'm just going to use a couple of my pieces of tape to kind of hold this in place. And let's bring over our die cut machine, and I'll show you exactly what I'm thinking that I want this to do. So I'm going to put this one back up here. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay this down right there and die cut just that one little piece out. And if you notice what I did, I used that square to make this at an angle like I wanted it. So manipulate your designer series paper to give you that image that you want to capture on your card. Don't be afraid to experiment. I think this one's going to look better on this one. But see, when we put that on like that, that is going to look like it was made for it. I love the way that's looking. Very, very pretty. That's going to be the middle one. So the one for the back, in the die set, there is the cutest little label die. And let me get those and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And let's just go ahead and run all this through at one time, getting a lot of pieces in one pass. I love that. So let's move that out of our way. And I want to do some stamping, but before I do my stamping, I'm just going to move these off. I'm just going to drop these back into my envelope because I can sort them back a little later. The main thing is getting them in there so I don't lose them. Oh, and I did drop one. So if you drop your dies, go after them immediately, because the last thing you want is to end up vacuuming up a die, or it just getting pushed under the edge of your mat or something where you can't find it. The best rule of thumb is just grab them while you can. Alright, I'm going to pull these pieces out, and I'm going to leave everything right here on this plate for right now. Let's lay it up there, and let's bring our pieces back over. Now we know we're going to frame this one on here, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this middle section down. This is our middle section for our card, so I'm just going to use some regular glue, just our liquid glue. And let's lay this down. And then we can go ahead and get this centered up about where we want it. Just like that. Oh, that's so pretty. I love that blue. I just think it's just a stunning pack of paper. All right, and then this one will go right here. And when you put this down, what you want to do is make sure that you're not impeding on that line. So you want to make sure that it's up about like that. What I like to do is kind of even this up with the edge of my paper, and I know that I pretty much got it where it needs to be. If you want to, let's just do the one flower and see if we like the one flower in the middle, and then maybe we'll do some little itty bitties around it. Maybe we'll splotch it. Try some splotching. Let's go ahead and ink this up first. So I'm going to go up high this time. I got that little teeny bit of shadow there. Let's do this. I might be able to camouflage that with this, so that's what we're going to try to do. I'm going to clean that stamp really good before I put it away. So where is my Stampin' Mist? So what I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of Stampin' Mist on my Stampin' Scrub. And I'm going to take this stamp and just rub it into that cleaner. Then I'm going to take it over to the dry side and dry it off. And we got a perfectly clean, looks like new stamp. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And again, a nice clean stamp. Now I'm wondering if I want to use this color or if I want to go in with a different color. Let's look at Pacific Blue. I think it's got some hints of Pacific Blue in that paper. What I'm doing is just kind of decorating around this, kind of making my own designer series paper, but I still want to make sure that this floral piece stays the center focus of our card. I like that. I think that looks really pretty. Let's stamp right here. I think that is gorgeous. So now when we put this on our mat, and we can bring it like this, I think that'd be really pretty. Alright, I am back and we have our piece now. This looks like from the glue it wanted to warp a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I am going to try to press this out a little bit and get that nice and kind of ironed out so it doesn't have that wrinkle in it, because you don't want it to wrinkle where it sits. So now I have my large piece and I'm going to put it down, and it's going to cover where I took that piece up from. So when you bring it down, make sure you don't impede that score line down at the bottom. So what I like to do is sit mine into place like this. See that my points are cross and cross and about the same distance from the edge. Turn it over. Do the same thing I told you to do earlier, but it was the wrong piece. Draw a line and then put your adhesive down here. Now you can use your Stampin' Seal or you can use liquid glue. I'm gonna do Stampin' Seal. And the reason for that, okay, so I know I need adhesive on this side. I am going to run some Stampin' Seal across here and across to here. Just like that. And then I am going to come back in and I'm going to sit that in, but I'm not going to stick anything down yet. I just want to place it exactly where I want it, just like that, making sure okay, once I get that like I want it, that looks good, then I'm going to press it. Alright, so that's pressed down. So now we have our other piece, and that's going to go on right here. And when you put this down, you want to bring it up just a tiny bit. Making sure that you're getting that border just where you want it. Now this one's going to be a little bit trickier because you're not going to have as much space to put your glue. So what I like to do is hold it in place where I want it bring it down as far, bring it down as far as you can, but make sure that your peaks are pointing at each other. You want your peaks to be showing where they're supposed to be. Then hold that nice and tight, lay it over, draw your line again, and now you know that you can only put adhesive down here. So again, if you want to use your stamp and seal, just and if you have it hanging over, just fold it back onto itself, just like that. And then you're ready to put this piece in and do the same thing. Just lay it in, making sure that your peak is peaking with the top of the other one. Once you feel good about it, then go ahead and press it down. Now that one's done. Now we need to do a little bit of work on this one. The first thing we're going to do is glue this to this piece. So I'm going to take some liquid glue and I'm just going to put a good little amount on the piece like so. And rub it. And then we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it right here. But I want to stamp, and I think I'm going to heat emboss it in white because I think it'll be beautiful like that. So we are going, and I've got a couple of little pieces of greenery, not greenery, but they're blue because I cut them out of blue, and I got these little ones right there. So let's see if we want to put them on there, if we just want to leave it simply happy birthday. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my stamp set, my go-to greetings, and I love that happy birthday, and I think it will fit. So let's see. I don't know, that one's kind of big. I do love that. I do love that happy birthday though. Oh, I wonder if we can make it work. Let's try it. You know, you never know if you don't try. So we're going to give it the old school try. I'm going to grab my Versamark ink, get a stamp block. I'm going to pick up my happy birthday, and I'm going to ink up. Before I ink though, let's go ahead and powder our little label. So important to remember to do this when you're doing any type of heat embossing, because you want to get those fingerprints off of that piece, and you want it to be completely static free of anything. Wake up, baby, wake up. My dog has been keeping me up at night, so I'm trying to keep him awake during the day. So we'll see how that goes. They say let sleeping dogs lie, but in this case, no. He needs to wake up. Alright, there we go. And lift that up. Oh, that's pretty. That worked out really pretty. So you can see that happy birthday on there really well. So I'm going to set that over. I'm going to grab my white embossing powder. Oops, that's gold. That's not white. There's my white. I thought it would have been on top since I used it last, but it wasn't. I'm going to grab those trusty little tweezers, and these are from Stampin' Up. They are in the mini catalog. You can buy the set, and you get the tweezers, the embossing buddy, this cute little brush that's great for brushing excess powder off, and you also get that nice tray This one right here. So if you don't have your embossing powder in this, you can sprinkle it over your piece in here, pick it up, and then the cap comes open and you can tap that back into your jar. So it's a great little tool to have for your heat embossing. So I'm going to do that. And again, then I'm going to give it a thump. That looks really pretty. I like that. So let's go ahead and close up our embossing powder. And I'm going to get my heat tool out, and we are going to heat it up just a little bit before we put it to the paper. So bear with me with the noise. I'm also going to sweep off my desk while my tool is heating. Bring my little board over. By the time I do all this, I think I'm ready to go ahead and heat emboss this. So we're waiting for it to turn a bright white shiny. I'm going to go underneath and on top. Oh, there it goes. There's the magic. There we go. Now, how beautiful is that? Although, take a little bit of powder right there. Let's see if we can erase that. Not too bad. Maybe I'll put a gem right there. That looks really, really pretty. Love it. All right, let's move this back over here. And my tools. And then let's bring this piece over. I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals, so let's grab our dimensionals. So this is going to be angled like so, and I'm going to angle it so I'm going to have it on a perfect angle. So what I'm going to do is set it right into that triangle on my mat. Y'all can see that. And I'm going to put the happy birthday right in the center. Just like that. And now we'll decide if we want some of these little sprigglies coming up from behind. I think I do, but I think I'm going to trim them just a little bit. Just give them a little haircut. And I think one right there would be really cute. And maybe one right there. Oh, I like that. Then we'll do one of these smaller ones. Maybe right here. Oh, I love that. That really just kind of adds to it, don't you think? So let's put some glue on the back of these. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit right here on the stem and those bottom leaves. And then we're going to slide it under there. Like that. Same thing here, a little bit of glue, and slide it under like that. I'll do the same thing with this one, just a little bit on that stem. And put it right under that one. Oops, I got glue on my finger. There we go. All right, that looks really pretty, and that's going to make a beautiful statement right here. And again, we're going to have even less space to work with. So what we're going to need to do is bring that over and draw the line. And now we have that tiny little space, and I'm going to just do glue on it. And I'm going to fold everything down because I want this to be right to that tip, but straight up to the top of that. I'm just going to hold that down, make sure it adheres. What you might want to do is set a block on it and just let it sit for a moment. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to clean the stamp. This was my happy birthday. Okay, that one's nice and clean now. And now let's look at our card. Oh, so pretty. Look how pretty that card turned out. And it sits up beautifully just like that. I love a card that has some dimension to it, and it's just a piece of art. Look at that. I love the way this turned out. I hope that you do. You can see when you lay it flat, everything kind of goes up into that motion, and then when you fold it flat, now like I said, you would need a 6x6 envelope to put this in. Okay, I'm back, and what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and put a gem on this card. I did brush that off a little bit, and it's not nearly as noticeable as it was, but I still want to put some gems on it. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go to my rhinestones, and I am going to use my putty end of my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm just going to grab one of these. Then we'll come up here and get a smaller one and put it right about there. And maybe we'll get one more big one and put it right here. I think that kind of gives a little balance to it, and it also gives a little bit of sheen and glimmer to it as well. Okay everyone, I have my envelope done. I literally had to go and redo my envelope because the one that I had done did not turn out the way I wanted it to. So I reverted to my We Are Memory Keepers 123 punch board, which this is the same as the envelope punch board, but it has measurements and lines where you can do boxes and bows as well. So that's why they call it the 123. 1, 2, 3. Anyway, if you have the envelope punch board, I have a video on my channel. It's my very first video where I explain how to use the envelope punch board. So by making my envelope, it turned out beautiful. I have some blue on the inside. This is a pack of retired paper that I had never used, and this will work perfect now, and I can label this, address it, and send it off. So, and I love the fact that the blue and the greens kind of go in with the theme of the card. Anyway, I hope that you had enjoyed the process of watching me make this card. I hope this is something that you might want to try at some point. It's really an easy card to make. If you can glue paper onto cardstock, you got this. But I just want to thank you so very much for tuning in and being a part of my crafty family. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy. So until we craft again, God bless and keep you. Bye-bye.